Running Facebook ads as a real estate agent is a lot like fishing. Ultimately, you could have a big fishing boat, you could have a small fishing boat, but you have the skill of fishing. You know how to go out there, go to the ocean, get yourself a fish. You can ultimately always grow your business and make the money that you need. It can double your business, it can triple your business, just like it has for a lot of our clients. Like kind of you see right here, Walmart was able to go from $50,000 a year to $150,000 per year. And kind of how you see here with our client Tim was able to go from 0 listings from social media to doing 33 transactions within a year. So it can really have the powerful effect if you know how to build a client system and if you know how to run Facebook ads as a real estate agent for long term. Now, most agents don't know how fishing, they don't know how Facebook ads actually works and how running them for a long period of time actually looks like. And because of that reason, they are missing out or they're just wasting money either on running advertisements they shouldn't be running in the first place, or alternatively, because they don't know how to run these ads themselves, they tend to purchase leads from different lead providers, such as Realtor.com, such as Zillow, such as all these other tools that are out there where you can just purchase leads from an external third-party source. And ultimately, when you call the leads, they have no idea who you are. So let me explain. At this point, we have worked with closer to 600 real estate agents one-on-one, personally in the trenches over the last 7 years. And I've seen it all when it comes down to Facebook advertisements. We have worked with beginner real estate agents who are just starting out with their businesses, all the way back to a little bit of experienced realtors who've been in the business, let's say 3, 5, 7 years. They're doing, let's say, $100,000, $200,000 per year, all the way back to working with large brokerages, some of the top teams in the whole United States in terms of production, and then running Facebook ads with them. So I've seen it all, but having said that, for most people, let's say you take an average real estate agent that's been in the business for a little bit, they make $100,000, $200,000 a year. Sometimes they're doing, let's say, even 10 deals a year. Let's say they're doing $50,000 per year. Anywhere in that range where a person does from $50,000 to $300,000 per year. Most people, if you take an average real estate agent on the street, the way they see Facebook ads is completely backwards. Now, let me talk about this a little bit. So how most people run Facebook ads typically is through this way. They usually buy a tool to run an advertisement, or they usually hit a boost button that you see over on Facebook to boost a listing. Or a third ad that I typically see is kind of like direct work with me type of ad, where they run an advertisement and the ad says like, hey, if you need to buy or sell a house, give me a call to this number. And typically they kind of use like a wrong bait when it comes down to pulling people, right? So if you imagine going to fishing, you have your bait, you have your rod, right? And you try to throw it out there, you try to get the fish to come to you. It's basically like trying to use a microwave instead of trying to use an actual bait that a fishing would like. So you put a microwave to rod, you throw it out there, and you say, oh, why is it not working? Is it not working, right? It's very similar to that. If you have the wrong bait, you could have the right rod, you could have the right ocean, but ultimately it's not going to get you the fish. It's not going to get you the results that you're looking for. So instead of doing that, right, instead of using a tool, instead of kind of hitting a boost on a listing, instead of doing that direct work with me type of ad, make your ads really good. And the reason why is because with social media, this is a very different type of platform than, let's say, a billboard or let's say a TV or any type of thing like that. And the reason I say that is because when you run a billboard ad, it's always going to cost the same amount of money, no matter what ad you run, right? Let's say you spend $1,000, you get the ad. Same thing with the TV, right? You spend $1,000, you get the ad. But with social media, actually, the better your advertisement is, the cheaper it is to run your ads. So let's say you have one ad that has like just throwing out there kind of like ad where you just copy paste something from a tool, right? For you to get a great lead from that ad, it could actually cost you $500, $1,000. Right? Now, if you have a great ad, if you have a solid ad that people watch for a long period of time, they engage with it, they comment on it, they really like that ad, well, in that case, that ad can actually get you great leads for $20 a piece. So the difference between these two things, right, it's not that this one person used a better platform, right? They both use the same platform. Now, it's not that this person had a better CRM or a better backend or a better something else technically, an AI tool or something like that, right? No. The only difference is that the other person just had a better ad. The person that has to pay only $20 per great lead, right? They just have a great ad. And so the social media platforms, they look at that and they actually give you more traffic if you create a better ad, but also the people that see your ads will be different. So there's massive differences if you have a great ad versus kind of like a half-ass type of ad that you just throw it out there, right? When it comes down to getting results. So if you have an ad that's not really that good, it's also very typical that you get like leads that are not that good either. If you have an ad that's really great, you're also very typical that those people will pick it up. They're like, oh, like this is a great ad, right? I want this great ad also for my house. So when this realtor sells my house, I expect them to make great ads for me as well, right? So they know that the ad that you create, it's kind of like a demonstration of your work. It's a demonstration of what you are, who you are as a realtor, and that's why it's super important that you're really careful, really good when it comes out to making your ads. Because when it comes out to making great ads, right, if you actually make a great ad and it's a profitable ad, you're probably going to spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 on that particular ad throughout the years. Because if it's working, it's an ad that you can run for a long period of time. And we don't want to have hundreds of thousands of people get the impression that you are not on top of your game when it comes down to your marketing, when it comes down to your advertising. Now, let's talk about the second point, which is having the right expectations. Recently, I was on a call with a real estate agent. I asked him, well, what motivated you to book a call with me? Like, why did you hop on this call? And he told me that he was having trouble generating listings. So last year, his year was really good. He did well in terms of his own terms, made about 12 transactions. But this year, it's been slowing down. He hasn't gotten any, I think he sold one house, but other than that, he hasn't gotten any transactions. And so because of that reason, he decided to run Facebook ads. And so I asked him, okay, that's nice that you're running Facebook ads. Let me ask you, before you run Facebook ads, well, how are you doing organically? Like as far as your Facebook account, as far as your Instagram account, as far as your LinkedIn account, your YouTube account, how many listings do you do from those places? Like how's that going for you? And then he told me that he wasn't really doing any listings, any listing appointments before he started to run his Facebook ads. So then I proceeded to ask him, well, okay, how much do you spend on your Facebook ads? And he told me that he was spending $200 per month. So this person had the expectation, right, that Facebook ads is a great tool, and that's correct. But he was only spending $200 a month on the Facebook ads, and also the type of Facebook ads he was running was the one that I just addressed, which is like kind of pressing a tool to run an ad type of ads, and then also he had a couple boosting ads as well. So also, first of all, the ad type, right, they were completely wrong ad type. So if you're on the wrong ad type, you're not going to get any results. But then in addition to that, the bait was so small, right? Because the investment is so low to just press the boost button or just use a tool that really, even if the right tool, if you have the right system, right tool, but you're only spending $200 a month on your advertisements. Imagine you're going to fishing, but you have like little breadcrumb. That's really what it is. It's such a small amount of money that no fish can really pull at the breadcrumb. And so ultimately, you can pull it out of the water, you can throw it out as many times as you want. At the end of the day, you won't catch any fishes with such a small breadcrumb. The other piece is the ad itself. Because if you spend so little money, you only spend $200 a month, there's really not a lot of incentive to build a great ad or to build a great funnel or to call all these leads in the best possible way, right? Because you're investing such a little amount of money, so it's easy a lot of times to just throw it out there, right? And then just try to see what happens. So ultimately, even with these types of ads, if you try to look at the math behind it, right? Let's say you spend $200 a month on your ads and you get yourself a listing. And your listing is, let's say on average, $8,000. Well, that would mean that on average, your return on advertising would be 40 times. You would be a world-class real estate marketer if that were to happen, right? And so because of that reason, it's just not a reality. Like 40 times, 80 times, 1,000 times return on investments, right? Those things are not reality when it comes down to running Facebook ads. As an example, S&P 500 averages 10% growth per year. So if you can get yourself 2,000% 4,000% return on investment, you're already investing your funds better than Warren Buffett, better than any hedge fund out there in the world. So since there's obviously active work involved, right? When you work with real estate clients, you still have to serve them, you still have to work with them. Obviously, it's different from a hedge fund, different from Warren Buffett, but really if you can get with your ads a 3 times return or a 10 times return, with some of our clients, we have seen 97% return at a proper scale. But again, this is an exception. This is not the rule. It happens very rarely, and you got to remember, we are world-class real estate marketers. We have been doing this for 7 years, working with all these clients. And again, there's proper systems in place. So again, let's say you're looking at generating listing clients with your ads. The first question you got to ask yourself is, should you be running ads in the first place? Because if you're currently not getting clients from your Facebook personal account and you have a budget of $200 a month to spend on your ads, rather than spending that money on those ads, because it's such a small bait, you should rather spend your time just doing the free marketing, just running organic posts to your Facebook, to your LinkedIn, to your YouTube, to your Instagram accounts. You're getting a lot better results, you're gonna get a lot more better leads, and also it's free, it doesn't cost you any money. So you can literally get a lot better results just by doing organic first. Now, when you have generated listings from your organic profiles and you already have some money, let's say you start running the organic posts, you got yourself one listing, and made you $8,000, $10,000 back, maybe even $20,000 back, right? Now you have some money to put into the ads. The next question you should ask is, okay, if you run ads, you should do those ads properly, right? So how much money are you willing to start spending on your advertisements, and not only for a short period of time, let's say 2 weeks, but rather ask yourself a question is that what budget would you be able to spend for the next 3 months? And so if you think about how much your average commission after a brokerage cut is, divide that number by 3. And that's what you're aiming for in terms of cost per acquisition into your 3x ROI. So as an example, let's say your average commission is $10,000. Now, if you divide that number by 3, your average cost per client acquisition should be about $3,000. Now, if you take into account, obviously, the brokerage cut, it will be around, let's say, $2,000, $2,500. But that will be your client acquisition cost, meaning you would spend around $3,000 to get yourself a listing. If you make back $10,000 net after your brokerage fees, right? That would be great, because now you're getting $10,000, you're spending $3,000, that's $7,000 profit. Now you can just scale that up, and now you can spend $6,000 on your ads. And now when you can spend $6,000 on your ads, you get 2 listings, now you make $20,000. So you spend $20,000, you spend $6,000, get $14,000 as the net result. So that's very scalable. It's a very, very good starting point when it comes down to your ads. Now, when you have that number of $3,000, you can divide that, let's say, by 3, if you look at the budget for the next 3 months, and then now you can spend $1,000 a month for 3 months, and you can expect to get 1 listing out of that activity. If you want to do that in a month, you need to spend about that $3,000 a month, again, to get to that 1 listing that you're looking for. So having said that, your ads, they influence these numbers. So the better your ads, the better your funnel, the better your sales conversation actually with these leads are, right? The easier time you will have when it comes down to making a profit out of your ads. And having said that, that's the beauty of social media, right? With traditional type of ads or buying leads, you can't really influence how much you're spending to get yourself a client. But if you make your bait juicy, you go out there with your fishing rod, you have a bait that's really, really nice. You have some beef tartare, you put in there some luxury beef tartare, you throw it out there to the fishes, and you know the spot in the ocean, you've picked up the perfect spot. Well, now it's going to be a lot of easier time when it comes down to getting that fish to come to you and bite that bait. So this is the point of this video. I wanted to address 2 things. So first of all, when you run advertisements on Facebook, make your ads great, make them awesome, and make sure that your personality is in those ads. We call this strategic personal branding because when you run ads, you're able to show yourself. You're able to show your voice. You're able to show your personality. You're able to kind of sell yourself to a large selection of people. We're talking about with the client I showed earlier, she had her ad seen by over 900,000 people in terms of her market. So that's a lot of people, or a lot of times, I should say, that people saw her ads for 900,000 times. So a lot of people will see your ads when they're, especially when they're working. So make sure they're great. Make sure people get to hear about you as well, because that's going to increase your quality of leads. Second point I wanted to address is the advertisement spend. So you got to have the right expectations when it comes down to spending money on your advertising, which is if you spend $1,000 and you make $10,000 back, that's a great investment. So if you expect to have like a $100 ad spend a month, right, and get $10,000 back, that's probably not going to be realistic unless, again, you are that world-class marketing. So anywhere from 3 times to 10 times ROI is solid. That's really, really good ROI. And third point I wanted to address is that make this whole process work seamlessly when it comes down to getting more clients. Make it easy for yourself, right? A lot of times people try to use different tools, different hitting boostings, different types of work with me types of ads. And the issue with that is just such an easy way to just kind of put it out there, see what happens, right? And that's going to make things very hard for you in the long game. So if you want to make things easier for yourself, make sure that you're properly educated when it comes down to running advertisements. How do you create a great hook? How do you create a great ad? How do you set your targeting? Make sure you learn all of these different things, and that goes back to having the right expectations, right? If you're looking at a program, you're looking at social media coaching, and you really don't know how to do this yourself, it's a lot better idea to invest into that, to learn these skills, to learn how to do all this stuff. And again, having the right expectations. It's going to cost you a little bit of money usually when you work with a coaching program or you work with a coach, right? But it's going to return back into an end. And again, having the right expectations in terms of that as well. You can't expect to spend $100 to get a world-class coaching, right? You got to put some money in. But over the long term, if you get yourself even one listing a month by using some coaching, that can get you already closer to that $70,000 per year. So still, again, great investment. So having said that, either if you already know how to do that, make your bait juicy, create your own ads, create your own funnel. If you don't know how to do all of that, right, then hire a coach. It's very easy. Hire a person to help you out with this. Get the right system, right tools in place. And so if you like to do that, as far as working with us, there's a link down below where you can book a free strategy call where we can hop on. Now, the call is free, doesn't cost you any money, but we're going to analyze your systems, we're going to analyze your tools and the structures that you have. So you can look at the link down below to book that in.